What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today we have our first mock draft for the New York Football Giants and the New York Giants only. We're gonna do it, of course, for all the teams, our full mock draft. If you guys tuned in last year and you're a subscriber from last year, you know how these mock drafts work. 3 rounds. We're talking New York Giants and primarily Giants, and seeing what PFF brings for these 3 rounds and what the Giants need. We know what the Giants need. They need a quarterback, but let's get started into this draft. And here we go. So Travis Hunter goes number 1. That's pretty obvious, right? The Jaguars need best player available, and that's Travis Hunter coming out of Colorado. He's a dual position. I think he's primarily going to play wide receiver, but we don't know. I mean, we've never really seen a guy that played dual position in the NFL. So, regardless, talking New York Giants, quarterback is the biggest need ever. The Giants moved on from Daniel Jones. Tommy DeVito isn't the answer. Drew Lock is a $5 million backup who doesn't even play. So the Giants need a quarterback. And now it's which one do you want? So if we go to quarterbacks, these are all the quarterbacks that can get selected. Now, here's my thing. We'll get into the first 3 because those are realistically the 3 best, but not really. The quarterback class isn't great. Jalen Milroe is not going to be the first quarterback off the board. In fact, he's the worst of the 3 that we're going to talk about. Jalen Milroe has had interception problems. He's struggling. He's making bad decisions with Bama, and overall his draft stock is just falling. He's kind of like a Carson Beck, where Alabama's a great school for football, but he's just struggling and he's not playing good enough football. Now, here's the thing. Now, is it Cam Ward or is it Shedeur? We know we've seen Deion come out and say, I don't know if I want my son playing for the New York Football Giants. So that's probably realistically the situation I'm taking, that the Giants don't go Shedeur because of the fact that, well, one, I don't think the Giants are going to take Shedeur. I think they like Cam Ward a lot. I like Cam Ward a lot. I think he's got really good traits. Like, he can sling the football. He's not the greatest runner, but he's definitely accurate. He's playing a good year out of Miami. So let's take Cam Ward for our first ever selection. First ever selection here in the mock draft. But we'll get into that second round. Am I tripping? Why is Shedeur Sanders still here? Hold up. I think PFF got drunk, guys. What the hell happened in this first round? Crazy stuff in the first round for our first episode. So, I guess we'll break down the first round. First few picks. Travis Hunter goes number 1, expected. We took Cam Ward. The Raiders decided to take wide receiver. That has to be a blunder. That definitely shouldn't be correct. But other picks, Patriots go Will Johnson. He's good. Abdul Carter is a very, very good edge rusher. With Penn State, he's very solid. Ashton Jeanty goes at number 6, and the Jets go Jalen Milroe. I'm not sure how I feel about that pick. These are kind of the other selections. I'm just seeing any big names. Emeka Egbuka goes to the Falcons. But yeah, very strange that Shedeur is still on the board. Regardless, we're not taking 2 quarterbacks. But something to take into account, though, with the New York Giants is they need defensive line help bad. Like, I think they need it, like, more than maybe, maybe than people think. Like, I think TJ Sanders is a solid pick that they can go here out of South Carolina. They could even maybe go with Walter from Ole Miss. He's solid as well. Uh, but sorry about that. But yeah, defensive line is definitely in the consideration to definitely select here. I think just with how things have gone, with only having Dexter Lawrence, I mean, you could go offensive line. I think that's not out of the question. But I think I'm gonna take defensive lineman T.J. Sanders here from South Carolina for our 34 selections. So now we're in the third round, final round. And the Giants are going to need some offensive line help for sure. Now, I know if there is something that I do know about. Actually, before we do that, let's see where Shadur Sanders went because he's off the board now. Dang, how far did he drop? Oh, he went. Oh, interesting. So the Raiders decided to take Shadur at 35 while snagging a top wide receiver in McMillan out of Arizona. So, I mean, they probably won the draft class if that's how things shaped up. But, yeah, very weird there. A little bit unrealistic. So, sorry about that. It's just the AI, not AI, PFF. But we're at pick 66. Giants have one pick in the third round. Offensive tackle should be in the consideration here. Maybe guard, maybe like a Tyler Booker. But I think offensive line definitely should be in consideration. And I'm thinking more interior offensive line too. I'm just thinking, where is the guy that I was considering? Unless he got picked. He may have got picked actually. Let's check. He was an offensive lineman. Let's see. Did he get picked? Who took him? And also, just a reminder that I don't make these. I don't make these picks. So if anyone in the comments is like, "Why did you not take Shadur Sanders at 3?" That's the. That is not me. That is the computer. So he went He went to Georgia. I'm trying to find his name. It was the guy I was gonna select in the third round. I don't know where he is, unless he's still on the board. Oh, he actually went right. He actually just went before us. It was Tate from Georgia. We were gonna select a guard. So now we got to pivot to someone else. Probably gonna take one of these offensive tackles, whichever one I like the most. To be honest, and now PFF grade is of course accurate, but I don't think it's perfectly accurate. Obviously, you could already tell with Shadur not even going in the first round. But I think I'm gonna take an offensive lineman here. They could go cornerback. So we could also go cornerback. But like we could take Zaya Alexander at cornerback, who actually looks solid. And you know what? Let's take a cornerback since our guy. Yeah, our guy got taken. So let's take Zaya Alexander out of LSU. We'll see how the rest of the draft shapes up. And yeah, that's going to do it for our first mock draft. They're not going to be very long episodes, probably no longer than 10 minutes of your time. But this is our mock draft. Overall, it's a B plus. They give us. Took Zaya Alexander. That was the A. Took Cam Ward, who I think they have lower than Milroe and Sanders. So I mean, only getting a B probably isn't too accurate. I think he's more of a B plus prospect. But I just think with the New York Giants, quarterback needs to be in consideration. Defensive line needs help, and cornerback needs help. And I think if this draft were to go 4 or 5, or if I had access to more picks, we would pick the offensive line too. Probably the biggest surprise pick, despite the error with the Shedeur Sanders not going at 3. Probably the Tennessee Titans going 6 with the Ashton Jeanty. I think that's more just, offensive talent-wise, probably best available. But a lot of these picks, I like Mason Graham a lot out of Michigan, but I do like Carter more than him. Abuka, wide receiver, that's another one off the board. Isaiah Bond goes to the Ravens, sorry. And then those are the other picks as well. So overall, good episode. Unfortunately, we got a bit of a PFF being a little bit drunk with picking wide receiver and not quarterback, and they ended up getting Shedeur in the second round. But anyways, guys, that's our grading once again. I'll move myself out. So you guys could see it. So, yeah, I mean, B plus overall for our first mock draft. I'm not really too mad about that. Really liking the Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders going to the Raiders was a good pick, but not at second round. But that's going to do it for our first mock draft. Stay tuned for more, and let's hope we don't get any more blunders. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.